Today is like the second day of Web Dev Week, and we have Sitanshu here taking up topics Git and GitHub. He'll give you like a clear and explanation of how to install it, how work on with Git, and how to integrate Git with GitHub, sharing your projects online. All of this taken up by Sit. Sitanshu, you can go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Is my voice audible?
Yes.
All right, all right. So, good evening. My name is Sitanshu, and I'm a second year student in CSE with specialization in AI/ML. Today, I'll try to take you on board with Git and GitHub, and I'll teach you the basics, whatever I have known and have learned. So, we'll start with Git first, and then we'll proceed with GitHub. So, I'll share my screen. So, and one more thing, there's my friend Sakshi, who is also in the same topic for Git and GitHub. She has made a blog, so I'll ask Kunal to share the link of the blog so that you can also refer it along with my session. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So I'll start now. So first of all, before knowing Git and GitHub, we need to know what is Git and where it has come from. So Git is a version control. It's an example for version control. So now we'll have a question that what is version control? So version control is nothing but it's a practice of tracking changes which are made into our projects. And version control system is a software or a tool which helps us to manage and track those changes in the code over time. So Git is one of the most common and popular version control system that we know. Git helps us. I'll do this, right? So this is just a meme that how important Git is for us developers. Even in the case of Fire, the first thing what people are asked to do is git commit, git push, and then give the deadline. So what is Git? So Git is an open source distributed version control system. Those were a lot of words. I'll try to explain them one by one. But yeah, it's an open source version control system that helps us to manage our projects, and it also helps us to work together with a lot of developers or work on a big project which has a lot of people contributing to it. So first of all, now I'll tell you about the installation. How can you install the Git? So you can go to this site and then download Git on your own machines. Yeah, so Kunal has shared the download link. You can go and download it for your own operating systems. After the downloadation is complete, you can go on your terminal and then type git -- version. Then it will help you to see whether your download has been successful or not. I'll also show you. So as far as my system is concerned, I have already downloaded it, so I can see a version. Yeah. After checking that your Git is downloaded, you can configure your Git account by using these two codes. All right. So in Git, each and every file has to be in 3 stages. The stages are untracked stage, a stage, and the last one is committed. So a file, whenever you initialize a repository in Git, it will be in one of these three stages. So I'll try to give you a practical demonstration of this. So I beforehandedly created a empty folder. It has nothing in it. So I'll make a file. Let's call it index.html, and also add the boilerplate code. I'll name it test, and in the body I'll say hello people. So this is a folder. Now what Git does is it helps you to make a repository, and you can also make changes or also revert changes in time. So what I'm saying is, first I'll initialize this as a repository. This is just a folder that is stored on your machine. I'll first convert it into a repository. So for that we do is git init. So now it is telling me that it has been turned into a empty Git repository and it has nothing in it. So repositories are of two types. First can be a local repository that is already on your machine, and one is a remote repository. Remote here stands for you can access it from anywhere in the world. So basically it's on internet. So now for this local repository, after creating a folder, it needs some files in it. So we have already made a file. Now I'll also make another file just for the sake of it. So this is an image that I found. I'll rename it for the purposes. I'll just make it pic.jpg, and this is the file that we made. So now for adding, we can add it using git add, and then we'll write the file name. The file name is index.html. So when you press enter, you can see that there have been no errors. So to check if the file has been added, we press git status. Okay. So as we can see, we are on our master branch, and there has been one file has been added, that is index.html, and one file is pic.jpg that has been untracked. So as I said, there are three type of stages while using Git. So first is untracked, the second is stage, and the last one is committed. So whenever a file is there in the folder, but it's not on the Git repository, then it's said to be untracked. So here pic.jpg file is an untracked stage, and the file which we have already added is index.html, and it's in committed. It's about to get committed, and it's in stage. So now there's another command that we can use to add all the files. You can also write git add dot. If you type dot, it will automatically add all the files which are already present in the untracked stage. So if I click, you can see by doing git status. Now it says that both of the files are there. There's another command just in case you have added a file that you don't want anymore and you want to remove it. So what you can do is you can write the command git reset, then the name of the file, like if I type jpg, and again we'll check it using git status. So now the file has been removed. Similarly, if you want to add all the files or remove all the files, then you can also do git reset dot. It will help you remove all the files. All the files have been removed. So for moving on, we'll add all the files. Now that we can again check. Yeah, all the files are there. Now for this stage only refers to that the file has been saved but not committed. So for committing them, we'll write another code, like let's git commit -m. Here -m stands for a flag that will help Git to understand that you're writing a message. Now we use commit messages to check a long history of commits and to pinpoint or to get a particular commit if in future we need to relate to anything. So we'll type a git message. For example, I'll say it's my first commit. So I can also type the message as first commit. Alright. So now it says that in the master branch, you can also see a branch name. It's there in the left bottom left corner. So it says I'm on master branch. So I have two files changed and there have been 12 insertions. So it's my first commit. Now again, if I want to add another file, like I'll add styles.css. I'll just give some random class like margin 0 probably. Okay. So there has been some change in the file. Now that I wanted to tell you that there's a command called git log. By git log, you can see whatever commits you have done. Like as we do git status to check whatever files are there, so we can use git log to check that how many commits we have done. So remove any existing git commit. This can be removed by using the commit ID. I'll show you how to do that. But then now, so as we have seen, all of the work we have done it in the local repository. It's local. It's not on the net. And if it's not on the net, you can't access it, or your co-workers that you're working with, even they can't access your files. So to make it like accessible for everyone, we use GitHub. Now, what is GitHub? So GitHub is a code hosting platform which works on Git. It just gives you a UI and it's a better version so that you can easily access your projects, collaborate with people. So it makes your work easier. So if you have been wondering like if Git and GitHub are same, no, they're not equal. They're not the same. Git is a software that we use to manage and track our files. GitHub is just another UI or another interface for operating Git. Okay, so I'll go to my GitHub. I'll make a new repository. Repository is nothing but a folder. So I can give any name such as test. This has test folder. Description is optional, so I'll leave it. It's public, so anyone on GitHub can see or access it. Add a README. Now README stands for whatever project you have done, you can explain it in a README file. So for the time being, I'll skip having a README. But yeah, one thing is to note that you can see this, that main has been set as a default branch. Okay, but as we can recollect that we were on the master branch. Okay, so what happened is in 2020, initially it used to be that the master or the default branch on Git would be master. But in 2020, it happened that master was related or some way considered to be in a master-slave relation. So people's feelings were hurt. So now GitHub has changed the default branch to be main, but not the master. So so I'll tell you how to change your branch name to master even in the local repository, because you want the names of the branch to be the same in the local as well as the remote repository. So I'll create a repository. Yeah, so we've made a repository on my account and the name is test. We also have a link so that we can access it. For the time being, we'll copy this link and we'll head back to our project. So now, as I said, we'll change the name for the branch. We'll write git branch -M. Now this flag stands for modify. So what we are modifying, we're changing the name of the branch. So git branch -M, and then we'll write name, the name of the branch that we want to change into. As you can see, the default branch has been changed to main. Or if you want, you can also change the name for your GitHub repository. It doesn't matter; it's the same thing, but we have to make sure that the name of the repository for both the sites has to be same. Okay, so now that we've changed the branch, the name of the branch, we'll now connect this local repository with the remote repository that's there on the GitHub. So, as you remember earlier, we copied this link. Now we'll make it as a origin. So we'll type git remote add. The syntax is that we'll write alias and then you'll write the URL for the origin. So that for the alias, I'm calling it origin, and the URL is that we just copied. So this. If I run, now probably the remote origin has been set, and now we can push our files to GitHub. So what GitHub is just an interface that helps you manage things on GitHub. For collaborating and all those stuff, GitHub gives you a better interface so that people can view and like you can work together on files. So all the files are there on my local repository. I'll now push my files to the remote repository. So as the name push, we'll use git push, then -u for the upstream. That means you're pushing your files to which branch. Now you have to write the name of the branch that you're pushing your files into. Anyway. Yeah. So it says the files are pushed. Now we'll go to our repository and refresh. Just a second. Yeah. So as we can see, index.html, pic.jpg, and all those files that we pushed from the local repository have been stored in the remote repository as well. You can also see whenever we made commits. So these two files were committed during our first commit, and the commit message is there. Then there's also the second commit where we push styles.css. Now, so this was a traditional method which is also called the CLI method, that stands for command line interface method. There's another method which is very simple to do, which is the VS Code's GUI method. I'll make another repository so that we can learn the another method as well. So I'll open first. First one. So what I can do is, for the time being, I'll just copy those files. So we have our files now. So as we know, in the CLI method, what we did was, to initialize the repository, we used a code called git init. So what VS Code does it already provides you with everything that you want to do. So this is the third tab, which is also called the version control tab or the source control. So in just a click of a button, you can initialize your empty repository. Mind you, the repository doesn't have any files in it for the time being. But yeah, so you can see it says that there are 3 changes made, and the changes stands for that it's there in the untracked stage that we talked about. So the git add, what we used to do, git add, and then another thing was git commit. So all of those things can be done in a single command. That is, we can see the changes. We can also edit them in this tab as well. Then in the message, you can type like first commit that we used to do with the dash m. There's also a fancy thing with git emojis. You can download it. It's an extension for making just your project more organized. So we've added an emoji. Now you can type the git commit message, and if you press tick, yeah, that's all. All you had to do is this much. Instead of learning all those codes, you can do it easily by using this. So Now that we have already staged all our files and it's in committed stage, we can also check it using git status. Yeah, there's nothing to commit. Everything has been staged. So now what we'll do is we can publish our branch, but first of all we'll also have to make a repository to connect it to. So I'll make another repository. I'll call it first one. No description needed. So thus I'll keep it private and I'll create. So first what we'll have to do is at least change the name. So get branch -m name. Then again we'll have to connect the repository. We'll look at remote, add, origin. So now if we click on publish branch, yeah, the code is pushed. Let's check. Yeah, as you see, CLI method, like you had to learn a few syntaxes to do, but the GUI method that VS codes of when you have many field doers. Yeah, now I'll teach you. So this repository has been created, and it doesn't matter even if I delete my code from here, it will always be there on GitHub. So for example, if I go to my Finder and I delete both of these files, yeah. So now, I want to use them again. So what I can do is I can use something called git clone. What git clone does is it will copy the whole repository which is there on the GitHub on my local system. So for that, I'll first copy the URL of my project. I'll go to the terminal. I'll first go to desktop. Then by typing a command called git clone and then the URL of the project, you can copy the repository and all of its data to your own machine. Yeah, it's done. So I'll go to VS Code. I can see open. I have test one. I'll open it again. There it is. So git clone, by git clone you can download any repository present on the GitHub. Just a second. Yeah, so if you've been following around with me, what you can do is you can clone your project and then create another branch. So I'll first teach you how to create another branch, but for the time being, I'll also share you this link, and you can push anything, whatever you want with this, and I'll also teach you how to merge two branches. So this is a link for the repository. You can clone it using your terminal and typing git clone and then space the URL for your repository. Okay, so now we'll create another branch and type git branch. So it will, if you type git branch, it will show you that which branch you are on currently. And if you type git branch, then star, and it will show you all of the current branches are there which are present. So as you are following this CLI method, we can also switch to GUI method. You can click on the name of the branch, then we'll be given with options to create a new branch or create a new branch from. So we'll use this and we'll create a new branch. We can name it like Sitanshu. Yeah. So now what it does for you is it will also create a branch as well as checkout. Checkout here stands for to switch your branches. As you know, I was on main. So if I press git checkout, main. Yeah. So as you can see, I've changed my branches. I was on Sitanshu earlier, but now I'm on main. But if I do it again and move to Sitanshu, so I've changed my branch. So what git branch does is, or what the significance is, I'll show you. In this image, as you can see, you have some different work, or you have been given some different work, and the main stream or the master stream is there, which is the core thing. So whatever you do, you copy or you clone your project at a point of time, and then you work on your projects. After you're completed, you can either merge your files into the main branch, or else what you can do is you can keep it on your branch, then make a pull request. What pull request helps you to do is, whoever is the organizer or whoever maintains the repository can look through your work, find if there are any changes or you want to do, and then he can accept your branch into the main branch. Now I'll show you how you do that. So first of all, I'm in the Sitanshu branch. I'll try to make any changes. So for example, if I remove this file, so there has been change. The change is that I've deleted the pic.jpg file. I'll write that deleted. I'll make a commit message called deleted file. And if I commit my message and then as well as publish my branch, yeah. So whatever changes I have done will be there only on the Sitanshu branch. Now if I want to check out and move to main branch, you can see the changes aren't reflected here. The changes will only be localized to Sitanshu branch, not on the main branch. You can see again that the changes are there, but only on this branch, not on the main branch. So what we can do is we can go to GitHub. This is only for me. You can't see this because I am the organizer for this branch. So I can check here that whoever has made any branch or how many active branches are there. So what I want you guys to do is go to that link. Go to that link that I've just shared. Then what you can do is you can clone the repository, create a new branch, do any sort of change. You can add a new file or remove the existing file. It's all right. Just make a new branch. Okay, I'll move on. Then I'll show you how to merge two branches. Okay, so if I move to Sitanshu branch, I can see that this says that this branch is one commit ahead of main. So what I'll do is I'll make a pull request. So as I said earlier, pull request is something that you as a developer, if you have made any changes and you have completed whatever task was assigned to you, now these changes should also be there in the main branch. So for reflecting these changes or merging two branches, so for that we use a pull request. So I'll issue a pull request. There should be a message that whatever I've done. So I'll just leave this blank for now. Then I'll make a pull request. Yeah. So this is GitHub verifier. It will tell you if there have been any conflicts with the main branch or not. So as you can see, there haven't been any conflicts. So what I can do is I'll just continue with the merge. So confirming merge. So pull request has been successful. So what this means is even if I'm in main, there is no pic.jpg file present because Sitanshu branch has been merged with the main branch. And what the changes we had done in the another branch was we removed the image. So that's what has happened after merging them. Yeah. So another thing, new concept is pull. As you know, what we did was we removed the file and then we merged the branches. Now there are only two files present. But this is the remote repository. This is now if you want to stay updated with your remote repository, we need to pull. Pull means you'll get the current state of the main branch which is there on the remote repository. No, but not on your local repository. Pull is actually a very important feature because if you're working in an organization, that then there are several other people with you which are working simultaneously on something. So if you make any change in the main branch that has also been accepted and has been merged, but your fellow co-worker doesn't know about this or has no idea that you have made any changes. So to get the same changes or to get the main file which he has to work upon on his laptop or on his machine, so what he'll do is he'll use git pull so that any changes that have been made in the remote repository should also be reflected on his local files. So for that we'll use a command called git pull. The syntax for git pull is we'll press git pull from main. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So after pulling, it says that it has fetched all the files, and one file was changed. There have been 0 insertions and 0 deletions, and it has said that pic.jpg, the file, has been deleted. And the same thing, as you can see, the pic.jpg file has been also deleted from our system. So that means we are running parallel with local as well as the remote repository. Whatever changes that are made in the GitHub are also there on our. Yeah. So do you guys have any questions or have any doubts to ask? If not, then we can wrap up with the session. All right. Thank you for answering.